Hello, beautiful people. Welcome back to the Sports World Talk Show.
Hey guys.
Week 4.
Good morning.
We're going to find out a lot of things this week.
This is the week, Ethan.
Today specifically is Sunday.
Yes.
We're recording right before the game, so we have the freshest knowledge.
Fresh.
Probably going to go up right after the Falcons-Jags game starts, but right now it's 45 minutes beforehand, so we have no idea. I'm going to go with the Falcons. I think the Jags haven't looked impressive at all in any of their first 3 weeks. The only one they kind of did was week 1, but that was divisional, so it's kind of an outlier. And the Falcons, even with their one loss, have looked decent across all their games.
So, I completely agree with you, Ethan, on this one. This one's, for me, is going to be a close one. I also have Atlanta winning. All the money is on Jacksonville, and I get it. They've got 2 terrible losses in a row.
They need to do something.
This is going to be a high-scoring game, but they need to do something. Jacksonville is not far from Atlanta. They're both in London today, and I don't know what it is. Trevor Lawrence hasn't been looking like himself. This could be a comeback game for him. The line is very close for this match.
Yeah, it's minus, 2.5 at the moment?
The line is minus 3.5 now.
3.5, okay. Well, the other thing is, at the moment, the Falcons have the 8th best defense in the league.
Yes.
Ranked, which is something that is a shocker to a lot of people and makes sense because the Falcons are notorious for having a bad defense, but major signings in the defense this last offseason. But the Jaguars have struggled against worse defenses this year. I think against guys like Jesse Bates, Calais Campbell going to get pressure, for half the game. I think that it's just enough for Trevor Lawrence to not be able to throw for 30 points, maybe 40 points.
Right. And something that's going to hinder, I really think is going to hinder Trevor Lawrence today. No Zay Jones.
That is true.
Zay Jones and no Jamal Agnew.
Jamal Agnew, one of the best punt returners in the game.
Yeah.
And Zay Jones is one of those guys that any given week can go off and get 100 yards, 2 touchdowns, plus some.
So they're going to be relying heavily on Christian Kirk and Evan Ingram and Ridley. But again, Atlanta's got a great defense.
Yeah,
Great
AJ
cornerbacks.
AJ
Terrell and Jesse Bates. Yep. And I feel like they're going to give them a run for the money. I feel like Atlanta's front is not too bad either. I feel like they'll put enough pressure because the Jaguars' O-line is rather weak. At the moment, which is
surprising. Because it wasn't supposed to be one of the best coming into this year, but it wasn't supposed to be bad, and it seems so far to be bad. Like their rush game, I don't think it's a problem with their running backs. I think it's just a problem with their offensive line not being able to protect the way that they were supposed to. And I mean, that's huge for running backs, is having an offensive line that can create enough space for them to actually get out in front and get some yards.
No, I agree.
The other thing about this game, arguably the most important part, is that it's being streamed on Disney Plus as Toy Story characters.
Gosh.
So this is going to be a first. That's how I'm going to be watching it, so I get the full fan experience. I'm not proud of it.
It's the only way. It's the only way to get it.
All right, Miami Bills. Let's move on.
Do I need to say anything more?
Dolphins. Yep. This one is so tough. The money is on the Bills.
The money is on the Bills.
And they're favored to win. And I don't know why. I get the Bills have kind of been they've been kind of under the radar the last couple of weeks because the Dolphins have just been the team for the AFC East. Mm-hmm. But I gotta go Dolphins. I gotta go Dolphins too. I think that coming off of their 70-point win, they can't afford to lose, especially an important divisional game.
Oh no, I feel like this is the game that sets it for the Dolphins for the rest of the season.
And it will. If they lose, they're no longer first in the division, and if they win, then they have a definitive slot as the number 1 seed, because not only do they have several wins over second place, but they also have the tiebreaker. Yeah. But if they lose, they're tied with the Bills, but since the Bills beat them in their head-to-head matchup, the Bills will be number 1 in the AFC East, at least for now. So I got Dolphins too. Now, we have some interesting games beyond this. All 4 0-3 teams are squaring off against each other this week. Yes. The first of which is the Vikings and Panthers, which I am not angry about these teams necessarily being 0-3. The Panthers are completely in a rebuild year, so I don't think anyone can be upset about that. And the Vikings, everyone knew that their defense was going to struggle this year because of how much they invested in the offense and ignored and neglected the defense. 0-3 is a little bit shocking, but I think the Vikings pull it out.
Yeah,
I think that offense is going to be too much.
The Vikings have to. Their offense is too high octane. Now, to give credit to the Panthers' defense, their defense are rather pretty solid when it comes to the air. Not the most air yards. They're not the best defense, but I also feel like this is going to be a revenge game for Adam Thielen. Just a smidge. Thielen's going to be playing against his legacy team. Expect if you have him in your fantasy lineups, play him. I think he's going to get at least a touchdown. They're going to feed him. Come on.
Especially with the weak
game.
Vikings defense.
Yeah.
And he knows how to exploit that too.
Oh, yeah.
He played there for so many years. Yeah, I'm in complete agreement there with the Vikings, and Adam Thielen's going to probably have a little bit of the game.
Oh, yeah.
Now, the next game, there is an age-old question, Gian.
Yeah, what is it?
What happens when an unstoppable force meets an immovable object? And no one's really been able to come up with a conclusive answer. Well, we're not going to find that out, but what we will find out is the exact opposite. We're going to find out what happens when a stoppable force meets a movable object.
Oh.
With the Bears and the Broncos. The two most embarrassing teams in the NFL this season and last week. The stoppable force, Chicago Bears, and the movable object, Denver Broncos. Who do you have and why?
Oh, I don't like this game at all.
I got the Broncos.
I got the Broncos on this, too.
At least they scored something. I mean, their defense gave up a lot, but the Bears aren't good enough on offense to exploit that weak defense.
So here's the thing. They have a cornerback, Jalen Johnson, out. Defensive back, Eddie Jackson, out for the Bears. Already a weak defense, already losing out on players. That's not to say that the Broncos don't have a couple people. I mean, Frank Clark is going to be out. Mike Purcell is going to be out, nose tackle and linebacker. Those are important positions for the Broncos. But, I mean, Russ needs to win. He needs to for his ego.
They have to.
They have to.
There's
they
no
have.
way.
Jerry Judy's going to have a good game. Bet on Jerry Judy. I have high stock in Jerry Judy doing well this game.
He needs it. I mean, he's been saying for 3 years now that he's going to be the guy, and that hasn't happened yet. So
honestly,
if there's a game for it to happen, it is against the Chicago Bears.
Yeah.
So
I hate Russell Wilson. This is the game that he has to, and the coaching as well. Like they kind of have to prove that what they got going on is going to be working.
I think people have already given up on Justin Fields and the Bears, fairly enough, rightfully so. I think that the Sean Payton experiment isn't over in Denver because he's so fresh, and that this has to be something to keep his job.
Yeah.
Because if Sean Payton can't do it,
nobody can.
Then Sean Payton's just not a good coach like everyone thought he was.
Right.
Like, you were good because you had Drew Brees and a good defense. But this is his chance. If you can't even do it against the Chicago Bears, you need to be fired.
Yeah.
Baltimore at Cleveland.
I hate this game. I hate everything about this game. You're going to hate my pick. I have Baltimore. I hate it. Everything about it, I hate it. Now, Deshaun does have an issue with his shoulder. I think he'll be fine and cleared for the game. Let me check what the current status of that is. He's still questionable. David Njoku is still questionable. But aside from that, Cleveland has a clean injury report. A couple injuries. Marlon Humphrey, he's going to be out. Their best corner, I'd argue, on the Ravens. They have a couple people who are out, linebackers and whatnot, tackles. Now, here's the thing. It's Lamar Jackson. They are playing in Cleveland. Cleveland's been on a steamroll. I just don't know why. I just feel like the Ravens are just going to take a dookie. They're going to take a Brown on the Browns in their home stadium. I just feel like that's what's going to happen. I don't know why. I don't like that. It is more of a gut feeling than it is logic here. That's a terrible thing to do on a show like this. But, I mean, Lamar's on a roll. You have Zay Flowers has been playing great. I don't know if Odell is back, and if he's not, that's fine. I still think between Mark Andrews, Gus Edwards, and Zay Flowers, that's enough of an offense to get things going for them. Not having Nick Chubb is gonna cause some damage for the team. Jerome Ford's been playing well, and I know they signed Kareem Hunt.
They did sign Kareem Hunt, which is
interesting. I just don't know.
Well,
why.
The nice thing about it is they needed a free agent running back, and he's one who has been in that system for the last 4 years, and so he knows it.
Right.
I'm going Browns. If Sean doesn't play, I'm going to go Ravens. He's probably going to play, so Browns. But if they say 5 minutes before game time he doesn't play, I'm switching that to the Ravens because I think that's going to make the difference.
Right.
But at home, I think that defense is robust enough that they can shut down not anything, but most enough of the Ravens. And with the Ravens' key defensive players like Marlon Humphrey being injured, I think that the Browns' offense will get enough going to score 30 points if they need to, while holding the Ravens to 18 or so.
Right.
I think the Ravens' offense is going to really struggle this game, and I think the Browns' offense is going to be able to put up enough.
Right.
I don't think it's going to be a blowout. I think it's going to be a close game, not a high-scoring game, but a close game.
Right, because it's a divisional match. And
yeah.
Yeah.
Pittsburgh at Houston.
My heart says Pittsburgh. My mind says Houston.
See, my brain says Pittsburgh and my heart says Houston.
Yeah, that's what I mean.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because the Houstons are coming off a big win. The Steelers' offensive coordinator Matt Canada is an idiot. He's garbage. But the Steelers are definitely a better team, better defense, better offense. Everything about the Steelers is better besides the offensive coordinator. But the Texans have been sneaky good this season, despite their record.
They just have a ton of injuries right now. The Texans.
Yeah.
One of their corners are hurt. Their middle linebackers are hurt. Both offensive tackles are hurt. Josh Jones and Laramie Tunsil. That's a huge one. Laramie Tunsil being out is a huge one.
I think I got to go Steelers here. I think
have to.
TJ Watt being in Houston Stadium, he's going to siphon some of that JJ juice.
JJ juice.
And he's going to go off for a couple sacks. So I got Steelers here.
I got Steelers as well.
I think TJ Watt being in his
I wouldn't be
brothers.
surprised if Houston ekes out a win.
Yeah.
CJ Stroud has been looking better.
If the Texans defense can get enough stops, I think that they can win the game. And if they can score, I mean, I think it's going to be another low-scoring game.
Here's the thing. The Texans can't stop anything up front. It's when you sail it through the air. I think it's going to be a better game for Jalen Warren and Najee Harris. Not that much better, but it's going to be better for the both of them.
If they could run decent routes, then yeah, but the problem is Matt Canada doesn't know what that is. It's let's run it up the middle on
he's
fourth
Canadian.
and...
This is football.
Yeah.
Welcome to America.
LA at Indianapolis. This is going to be a good game, I think. I think this will be one of the higher scoring games.
Yeah, I think it's going to be an interesting game. Both teams healthy starters with the exception of Cooper Kupp. He's coming back next week.
Colts. I got the Colts.
You got Colts?
I got to believe in my boys that they're going to pull another one out.
Who did I pick? I also picked the Colts. Look at that. I picked the Colts.
Fair enough. I think the Rams are a good team, but they struggled a lot last week against the Bengals defense, which isn't that good. Colts defense is in the top, is bouncing between second and third best defense in the league so far through weeks 1, 2, and 3.
Right.
And I don't see Matt Stafford, Puka Nacua, and Kyron Williams driving through the third best defense in football.
Right.
And you have an extremely dynamic offense in Indianapolis, especially with Anthony Richardson being back.
AR's back. Zach Moss is showing up.
Michael Pittman.
Michael Pittman's doing great.
Yeah. I think the Colts have this one.
Great offense, superb defense. I mean, it's a great combination all around. I'm actually quite excited for this match.
Me too. I think it's going to be one of the better games of the week. I think this will be one of the game of the week contenders. But moving on to Tampa at New Orleans, I've got the Bucs. I think that the Bucs are going to pull out some sneaky divisional wins. They do play the Saints good. They historically have played the Saints good divisionally. And with Derek Carr being out, Jameis Winston only having 1 week as the starter in practice, right. I think it's got to be the Bucs in this one, even though they're the visiting team in New Orleans.
I also have the Bucs on this one, Ethan. I don't know why. I mean, I don't have it getting me a lot of points on the pick'em, but here's the thing. Derek Carr was pretty much the main thing going on there. The main reason that the Saints were all hype. Now, Marshawn Lattimore owns Mike Evans' number, but I feel like this is going to be a good game for Evans, Godwin especially. Godwin expects Godwin to take off this game.
Yeah.
I don't know why. It's just what's coming out to me. Godwin's going to have a great game. And maybe this is one of those games that the Buccaneers really pull through and
I think it'll be a close game.
Because this is one hell of a rivalry between the Saints and the Bucs. So I'm really hoping Mike Evans ekes out a win here with Baker Mayfield. Baker Mayfield will do great.
I think it'll be a relatively low-scoring close game, but I think the Bucs pull it out. I just have a feeling. I got a hunch. I don't think Jameis is going to be efficient enough on offense.
No.
If he had the whole
offseason,
turnovers,
even with the amount of injuries that the Bucs have, a lot of turnovers.
Yeah.
Hopefully Vita Vea is able to play. Great player. But yeah. That's all I got for this one.
All right, now this next one we're going to spend about 4 seconds talking about because it is the Commanders
Eagles
against the Eagles. And the Eagles are at home, so
Eagles.
I'm not going to explain that one. I think that one's pretty self-explanatory that the Eagles are going to beat the Washington Commies at home. Bengals at Titans. I don't like this game.
I hate it.
I don't like watching the Titans play football at all. They're very boring, and they pull out wins when they shouldn't. But they're both 1-2. I think that the Bengals win this one. It's past the first 2-week shit fest for Joe Burrow. And the Titans, I still don't think are doing anything this season. Even I've said it every week. I'm going to keep saying it. I don't think the Titans are doing shit this season. So I've got Cincinnati. The Cincinnati Bengals.
I got the Bengals as well.
Winning this one.
I got the Bengals as well. I mean, a lot of injuries on that defensive and offensive front for the Titans. No Treylon Burks. So I mean, who else are you going to throw to? There's only one person you're going to throw to. That's D-Hop. Just double cover him the entire time.
Yeah.
Whoever the other defender is, who cares? I mean, honestly, who cares? Like, you're not going to get the ball anyways because Tannehill's just not going to throw it.
No.
Chigozima Okonkwo, the tight end, he's the next main big target there. But even then,
I might get a couple balls, but that's not going to win you a game.
no, they're just going to run it with Derrick Henry the entire time. Nothing's going to happen.
It's going to be inefficient on offense. Got 3 yards a carry. Yeah, I mean, I think that one's pretty cut and dry. Even though it's at home for the Titans, I don't think they're one of the teams that have a tremendous home field advantage. So I don't have the Titans being at home really giving them a huge leg up. Chargers facing off against the Raiders at home, and found out this morning. I'm glad we waited till today to do it, although it wouldn't have changed my pick. Jimmy Garoppolo is not starting for the Raiders this week. It is rookie quarterback Aiden O'Connell. So, Chargers. Yeah.
Chargers.
I mean, the Chargers are at home. They need to get some wins here. They need to win the next few in a row. The Raiders suck anyway, but they also don't even have Jimmy G, who has experience. It could be one of those games where Aiden O'Connell, as the rookie, just goes off and impresses. But even then, I don't think it's enough, just because it's a divisional game, and him being a rookie quarterback doesn't have the several years in that division of understanding what the other team likes to do to have that competitive advantage over those teams, whereas the Chargers do. Justin Herbert's been playing with the Chargers for several years now, playing against the Raiders.
Just give Keenan Allen 20 passes for 500 yards.
New England at Dallas. Now this one is tough. I think this is going to be a close game.
I hate this game. Can I tell you why?
Go for it.
Dallas lost to Arizona. They look like dog shit.
Who do you think is better, the Eagles or the Cowboys?
Eagles.
The Patriots, I think, barely lost to the Eagles. Those first 2 drives, turning the ball over within like the first 2 minutes of the game, and then it was still a close game. It was 25-20. I think the Patriots...
Why do I feel like the Patriots eke one out in this one?
I feel like the Patriots eke one out on this one.
I don't
That's
know.
what my gut says.
They're playing in Dallas. We still don't know the status of a couple of players.
Zach Martin is huge.
It's
That is one of the
questionable.
best offensive guards in the league. If he's not playing, that's huge.
Tyron Smith is not
Especially
playing
with guys like
already.
Matt Judon on the opposite side of that ball. I gotta go Patriots here, dude. Matt Judon versus a Dallas offensive line without Zach Martin. Holy moly, that's gonna be disgusting. I gotta
feel
go
like
Pats.
this is one of those games that Belichick just wants to embarrass.
He wants it. I think he wants it. This is one of those statement games they could go in. If they go in and beat the Cowboys right after they lose to the Cardinals, really put a nail in the coffin for the Cowboys fans and give himself a position of potentially being a wild card contender.
Give me Patriots.
Patriots, yeah. I just think it's one of those games that Bill Belichick's going to throw a sassy challenge flag on the floor at some point.
Yeah.
And get a win.
Sassy challenge flag.
He's a little zesty.
Yeah, he's a little zesty. He's got some zest to him.
Cardinals at San Francisco 49ers. We'll spend about 4 seconds talking about this one. Niners. They are arguably the best team in football. They are not losing to the Cardinals. The Cowboys are frauds. I don't think the Cardinals beating them is that huge. Chiefs at Jets. This is another quick one, I think. The Chiefs. Yeah, that's...
Sunday night.
Yep. So we agree on most of these. There's a couple differences, but...
Right.
Yeah, thank you for checking it out. Hopefully you make some money off of... We're doing that later.
Oh, okay.
Talk about Monday night later.
All right.
We just need to get some juices flowing first. We'll do Monday night in a bit. But thank you guys for watching. Check out our video that's coming out right at the same time as this one about some bets if you want to make some money. I'm currently undefeated on my player prop bets. I bet some every week since the beginning of the season. I have bet a couple parlays of player props for some of the games, and I have won every single one of them so far. So check that video out if you want to make some free money. And with that being said,
stay frosty, my friends.